So in the last episode, while we were waiting for some performance parts to come in, I did a full brand new livery on the race car. I'm so proud of how this came out. This is the best livery I've done to date. I'm pumped on this one. In this video, our parts have come in, so let's get to work. A bunch of cool new parts came in. We have a brand new Stage 4 racing clutch from Clutch Masters. This is just the pressure plate. The actual clutch is in the box. We have a new cold air intake, which I'm going to build a custom electronic supercharger and put on the end of this piping. So I needed some piping and stuff, so I bought a cheap cold air intake, but this is going to be very cool. We have some brand new harnesses. These are super cool 4-point harnesses that will go on our brand new racing seats. Also very exciting, I have a Fidenza lightweight flywheel. I've heard good things about the Fidenza flywheels. Also, the surface patch here is replaceable. So in theory, unless this cracked or warped or something, you could probably use this flywheel forever because you just pop off the plates. Also, Fidenza always reminds me of that Little Big song about the perfume. Little Big is like Russian dyad word, but they're not horrible people, at least to my knowledge. I don't know, it's the music business. Speaking of the music business, I had a new album drop. A couple other things came, but let's get started with the new steering wheel, the new seats, and the harnesses and harness bar. Am I starting with the seats and harness bar because I'm putting off taking out my entire transmission because that's a huge pain? Yes, I am. One thing that is extremely important, I'm gonna share a little life advice with you, is disconnect your battery before you do any kind of modification to your steering wheel. Took out my airbag. Airbags really freak me out and I don't like holding it in my hand. I actually don't mind the stock Yaris wheel that much. I think it's pretty okay, but this is a race car and it deserves a racing wheel. Screwdriver to remove this column piece. I always mess up these column pieces, so I'm gonna try my best to not mess it up. Yeah, I didn't break it yet. Don't worry, there's still time for me to mess this up. Remove the clock spring. What the clock spring does is it tells the time by a system of springs. I'm gonna stuff these wires up there and pretend they don't exist. I have this hub adapter, and then I have a second one that I bought for another project. Let's see if it fits that. That also fits. Now this actually might be the one I go with. This one's cool, but it is really low pro. Problem with doing wheels that I have always messed up in the past. Where it is like stationary is slightly different from straight on the street. And we'll put the battery back in and we'll drive it down the road. And if it's not completely straight, then we can align it up. Oh, that feels nice. I like that. Reverse. Man, this wheel is nice. Ah, see what I'm saying? Okay, right here. The wheel is off a couple clicks. Right there. It was straight when we were parked, but now it's off like a quarter. What I'm gonna do is now drop the washer on the floor. That's the most important part, is dropping the washer on the floor. Okay, now let's try that. Shall we? Down the road. That is pretty close to straight. Check out my new seats. I got cactus pieces in my sock. Hold on. I got these for my birthday. I'm so excited about them. I don't have the Yaris specific seat bracket, so we're just gonna have to make something custom. Okay, so I just reversed the brackets so I can mount them into the slots. All right, so let me get this lined up here. The rear sits fine. That sits okay. Good stuff. And then obviously we can't make it to the front right there. That's where we need to bolt the front in. However, the like centering pole that goes on these seats, there's a hole for that right there. So we could throw a bolt in there, but it's not threaded. Then I'd have to tap and die it. Option 2 is I have some steel here, and I could just make rails for this, right? So bend that end piece on either side, make 4 of those, and then bolt the seat bracket to this piece of steel. I have one plate completed, and how I did this was I put a little bit of grease on the factory bolts and then laid down my piece of metal so I would have a grease marking, and then I put it on the drill press and drilled it out. So I did the outside, now I'm going to do the inside. I have to repeat this 4 times for both the passenger and driver. It's a little more work, but it'll be worth it. I gotta do a good vacuuming and cleaning out in here. So how it works is I have the seat bracket inside out on all of them, so it creates like an L. Then it's bolted here, and then I'm using one of the factory bolts in the rear. So it's nice and strong. Gonna do a big vacuuming, but so far so good. Move this interior panel, and I think I'm gonna strip the whole back of this for the most part. Save a little weight. I gotta take this off anyways, might as well do all of it. I'll probably upgrade these speakers because I do listen to music a lot. If you're following along at home, you reach your fingers in here and you pull out this piece and you try not to break it in case you ever want to put it back in. And then you reach around, and then that pops out. And then now you can put your harness bar in. There we go. Save a couple pounds. This right here is the bolt that goes to the factory seat belts. You're supposed to reuse this, and there's like a little adapter. The problem with that is there is a circle bit that prevents this from being clamped down properly. So what I'm gonna do is go way down here and steal one of the bolts from the bottom of the seatbelt, which is significantly shorter, and then put it in this hole right here, which is where it's intended to be mounted. This entire process of putting the harness bar in would have been a lot easier if I did it before putting in the seats. But you know what they say, you live and you never really learn, you just keep making the same mistakes. Now we have a significantly shorter 14 millimeter that is the right thread, and we can send it through our bracket and shove it right in the wall. Click like this, and then they click down the bottom. Like that, and I am in here, and the steering wheel is completely in the way of this shot. I decided to take the little horn button off of the wheel. I don't have a horn, and if I need to remove the steering wheel, I can just pop my 19 millimeter in there and take it off, which is a lot easier than unbolting the whole thing, then bolting it off. I can just go right and take it off. But check out the new seats, dude. They look awesome. Got the harness bar. I gutted the rear, so we're all gutted back there. Awesome. All right, guys, I think that wraps things up for this video. In the next one, I'm gonna have to do it. I'm just gonna have to put in my clutch and my flywheel. I've avoided it long enough. I gotta get started on this project. So tune back in. If you enjoyed this video, hit subscribe, hit like, and I'll see you next week. I got a lot of work ahead of me.